What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I realised I've not yet shown you a red Digimon deck. I know, right? How gosh darn rude of me. The good news is, however, I have every intention of fixing that in today's video, whereupon we are going to look at a nice aggro red deck. Yay! Now this does come from Durasuta Info over on Twitter. They have been sharing some lovely deck lists and I thought I quite like this red one. This red one looks really quite fun to me and it's got a lovely mix of really fun cards, so I thought, you know what? We should have a little bit of a gander. Now, starting off with the Digitama, they've done what I always tend to go towards, which is 4 copies of the same Digitama to guarantee you always get the one you want. Now, the Digitama in question is the one from New Evolution. It is Yokomon. And the Digimon that evolves from it, when it attacks, as long as it is attacking a Digimon, i.e. not the security stack or player, this Digimon gets an extra 1,000 power. I promised you a bit of an aggro deck, ladies and gentlemen. It seems, well, it seems a little bit rude to not show you an aggro deck. And make no mistake about it, right? If we want to go aggro, this is a really good Digitama to do so. And carrying on from that, in the level 3s, we do see a full 4 copies of the starter deck Agumon. The starter deck Agumon is one that I absolutely adore. It just gives any Digimon evolved from it an extra 1,000 power. So now all of a sudden you've gone up to a level 4 and straight away you've actually got an extra 2,000 power. One from the Digitama, one from the Agumon. That's pretty nice to me. Though it does also play a full 4 copies of the Agumon from New Evolution. Now this one actually has a play skill, a skill that activates when you play it, so don't evolve this one, play it from your hand. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add a tamer card to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Interesting that this does allow you to grab a non-red tamer, but we're not playing any non-red tamers, so it's kind of irrelevant here. But it's there anyway, ladies and gentlemen. It's there anyway. Now, the other level 3 we see here is the Beamon that also did come around in New Evolution. So we've got a very Agumon-centered deck. Now, this Beamon has an inheritable skill whereby if this Digimon is blocked, you get an extra 2,000 power. Now, this isn't the guaranteed 1,000 you get from Agumon, but remember, you can only play 4 Agumon and we already are. It's an extra 2,000 power, but it really puts your opponent off of blocking. Either it's going to make your opponent go, oh, I was going to block, but now if I do, I'm going to get destroyed, so I won't. Or it's going to make them go, oh, fine, I'll have to block, even though I get destroyed. And I think that's a win for you, regardless of how that actually goes down. That seems cool. Now, this particular deck is kind of tripping level 4s. There are 4 different level 4s, including the blocker. And I think this is probably going to end up being a standard thing. We're seeing a lot of this at the moment. Bear in mind, we are still extremely early in the game, so we do not know, we really don't, as to exactly how all of these decks are going to look in the long run. But as it stands at the moment, it certainly looks like these blockers are getting a lot of play, and I imagine this will probably carry on in the future. It's a level 4, it's got 6,000 power, it's a blocker. When your opponent attacks, you can redirect an attack towards your blocker, and then you lose 2 memory if you attack with it. Corregidron it is, which I don't think you're ever going to, incidentally. Well, okay, no, that's an exaggeration. I think you will attack with it at some point, but it's going to be a, you know what? This is one of the rare exceptions I'm actually going to get a bunch of winning by attacking. There's actually value in attacking. Most of the time, you're not going to attack with this. Now, elsewhere in terms of the level 4s, we've actually got 2 different versions of Greymon. Yeah, apparently one Greymon wasn't enough here. We had to go for a second. Now, one of them is a Greymon from New Evolution. Full 4 copies of this dude. And it's just got an inheritable skill that gives you an extra 2,000 power. So Agumon gives you an extra 1,000 power. Greymon gives you an extra 2,000 power. And of course, your Digitama gives you an extra 1,000 power. And all of a sudden, you're only a level 5. You're not even gone up to a level 6 yet. And you're sitting there rocking 4,000 power above what is written on the card. This gets pretty beefy pretty quickly. Now, the other Greymon we see here is the one that came around in the starter deck. Remember, it's only 4 of each numbered card, but you can have as many Greymon as you like, as long as there's not 4 of any particular Greymon. And it gives you security attack +1. Whatever is evolved from this Greymon gets security attack +1. And there is a full 4 copies of this as well. So essentially, in terms of level 4s, we've got one that's a blocker, one that gives you extra power, and one that gives you extra security attacks. Either way, we're looking pretty good here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some really nice options rolling around. And then there is actually one more level 4, and this last level 4, right? It's actually there kind of as an attacker. Well, okay, there's a couple reasons. So it's Dark Tyrannomon, right? And we've got a 6,000 power level 4, which is really good, but it's also a 1 cost to evolve. So on the one hand, it is actually really cool having a 6,000 power level 4, bearing in mind it could be an 8,000 power time you bring in Yokomon and Agumon. But you also need to bear in mind that this is a 1 cost to evolve, so one reason you would use this is literally just to give yourself a faster route up to the level 5s. Speaking of which, we have 2 different options in terms of level 5s. One of which is Skull Greymon. Now, Skull Greymon is a weird one for me, because this is very much a deck built around using inheritable skills to beef up your bigger Pokemon. This is an evolution deck. That is the goal of the deck. Skull Greymon is not an evolution card. Now, to be fair, no, it's not even particularly good, to be honest with you. But when you play it, you destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with Blocker. And essentially, this is your way of saying, look, obviously, we would rather be playing a bunch of other cards that further our general strategy here. But we understand that sometimes what we really need is just to get rid of a blocker. Because if I've got a really powerful Digimon, right? I've got a really powerful Digimon, and I've got extra security attacks, and then my opponent just blocks it with like a Monmon, then what's even the point? Monmon's ruined everything. Monmon's a tiny little, it's a weaker, smallest blocker we've seen so far, which is why I use it as an example. Skull Greymon basically clears the way. It's a very expensive card, but it clears the blockers out of the way, and in that regard, it's kind of cool. And then the only other level 5 we're playing here is Groundramon, a 6,000 power level 5. Now, bearing in mind Dark Tyrannomon is a 6,000 power level 4, what's going on? Why are we playing this? And the answer is extremely simple. 2 costs to evolve. You see, your level 3s here have really, really nice inheritable skills. Some of your level 4s do, and your level 5s don't. In fact, it's only the Greymon that do from level 4. But you see, between Dark Tyrannomon and Groundramon, you are getting all the way from a level 3 to a level 5, paying free memory, when usually we would expect that to cost a fair bit more. It is the faster way to get up to level 6s, and level 6 is where you want to be, right? Now, actually, at this stage, I've forgotten one of the level 5s. There is a single copy of the Metal Greymon here that was a secret rare in the set. Just the one here. Sat down there with the level 6s at the bottom of the picture. You'll see that in a minute. And it's got an inheritable skill that gives a Digimon that evolved from it an extra 3,000 power. Bearing in mind, we've also got the level 4 Greymon, which gives you an extra 2,000 power. The level 1 Agumon that gives you an extra 1,000 power. And the Digitama that gives you an extra 1,000 power. So we've got 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 gives us an extra 7,000 power. By the time we get up to a level 6, we have added 7,000 12,000 power. Now, it's an expensive card, which is one of the reasons we only really see it as a one-off here. And I mean that both in terms of the physical cost of the card and the cost of playing the card. But it also gets security attack +2, so when you're attacking, that's kind of ridiculous. Bearing in mind, you could have evolved it from the Greymon that gives you security attack +1, and then all of a sudden you've got security attack +3. Yeah, that's a little bit silly dumb, ladies and gentlemen. You're taking out 4 security cards in one go. Now, you do have to give up 5 memory to use it, but I think under the circumstances, there are certainly going to be times we're willing to do it. Now, one of the level 6s we play here is actually the vanilla one from the starter decks. Huamon. 10 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve, 12,000 power. But again, the 2 cost to evolve is pretty cheap for a level 6. So, between Dark Tyrannomon, Groundramon, and this, you're going to actually get from a level 3 to a level 6 paying 5 memory. That is ludicrous, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely ludicrous. And yes, obviously from there we're evolving into Omnimon. We'll get there in a minute. Hold your boots. We will get there. As a Digimon in and of itself, 12,000 power is extremely high. It's vanilla. There's no extra skills here. But we do love the 12,000 power. And being a 10 cost card means there will be times you can play it when you're actually allowed. Remember, if you are playing a card that would give your opponent more than 10 memory, you're not allowed to play it. Whereas here, you're fine. You know, even if you've got 0 memory, you can play this and you're good. I don't think you will very often, incidentally, but it is an option. It is there if you want it. It is a cheap to evolve level 6. With a decent power, and of course, I mean, let's say for argument's sake, right, you got your Agumon, extra 1,000 power, and you got your Digitama, extra 1,000 power, and you've got your Greymon, extra 2,000 power, and then you do a quick level 5 evolution, quick level 6 evolution into this, and all of a sudden, you're not actually a 12,000 power Digimon, you're a 16,000 power Digimon, which is enough to take out Omnimon for what that's worth. This adds up very, very quickly. Now, there is actually another level 6 we're playing here, and it is the War Greymon from New Evolution. Now, we actually take a slight dip in power here, down to 11,000, which is not ideal, and it's a more expensive card, but of course it's a level 6 with skills. When you evolve, you get security attack +1 for this turn, and when you attack your opponent's security stack, any option card that comes out does not activate. Now, bearing in mind, with all of the extra power we're going to have here, the chances are you are not going to get destroyed by a security Digimon. And you're now turning off option cards, so unless your opponent flips a Tamer, their security cards really aren't doing anything. And then we get to Omnimon. Now, Omnimon here is gigantic. Omnimon is the biggest Digimon we've seen. It's the only level 7 Digimon we've seen. It comes around with 15,000 power, which again is the biggest we've seen, and it is 6 cost to evolve, which is gigantic. But remember, what we're doing here is we're using level 4s and 5s and 6s that can evolve more cheaply, so that we are getting, shall we say, the fast lane up to Omnimon. Yes, Omnimon itself is a very expensive card to get, but actually we're saving a bunch of memory in the lead up. So it's really not quite so bad here. And of course, Omnimon is phenomenal. When you evolve, you destroy all of your opponent's Digimon with one particular name. And when you attack, you may return a level 6 to your hand to make Omnimon active. So you then get to play down that War Greymon again, if you've got another level 5 ready to go. It really is a frankly ridiculous over-the-top card, bearing in mind you might be giving it extra security attack, or you might be giving it extra power, preferably both, to be honest with you. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, in terms of option cards, there is literally only one option card we care about here. It is Gaia Force. It is the one from the starter deck, and yes, it is an 8-cost card, and that is extremely expensive. But then, by the same token, it just destroys any Digimon on your opponent's side of the field. when it comes out as a security card, it does the same thing. It destroys any Digimon on your opponent's side of the field. This is your silver bullet, down you go, son, down you go kind of card. It is kind of awesome. And then we see one tamer here. The only tamer we're actually playing is the red tamer that came around in New Evolution. Now, it's got the same skill that all the New Evolution tamers, well, I should say the 4-cost tamers, there was a level 2 in green in New Evolution that doesn't, whereby if you start the turn with 1 or 2 memory, it goes up to 3. But during your turn, all your red Digimon with 4 or more evolution sources get security attack +1, i.e. your red level 6s get security attack +1. Omnimon is not a red Digimon, and in order to have 4 or more evolution sources, you've got to be a level 6 or above. So Huumon and Wargreymon here are going to be able to get themselves extra security attacks. That's a pretty nice thing, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Taking out extra security cards, bearing in mind we've also got the Greymon that gives you extra security attacks. And what we have here is exactly what I promised you at the start of the video. We have an aggro deck. We are boosting up our power. We are boosting up our security attacks. One of the coolest things we see here is just using cheaper evolutions where we don't have those inheritable skills that we desperately need. What we're actually doing instead is defaulting to cheap to evolve cards. So we've got the level 3s and 4s with the good inheritable skills. Then we evolve nice and quickly up to the Digimon that can really make use of them. And I kind of love this, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of love it. I'm a huge fan of this deck. It's one that I very much want to try out, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. Oh, also, this deck is properly harsh against blockers. In-your-face blockers. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at TheWossy, where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other games. And please do make sure you're checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.